Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is VIN 1149, and this is a rebuilt title. You guys want me to make sure you know that right away it's a rebuilt title? This is a rebuilt title car. This is a 2016 8X1, which is ultrasonic blue mica 2.0 with LA20 black interior, for sale in Burbank, California, with 26,000 miles. That's it, low miles, $36,500. It is a rebuilt title. It's for sale on OfferUp, so that is like a Craigslist type of app. You can sell pretty much anything under the sun, but if you have the OfferUp app or go to offerup.com, put your location as Burbank, California, and this car will pop up. And you can contact them that way if it's still available. Production statistics: 269 out of the 2,348 cars for the US 49 were ultrasonic blue mica. Of those, 122 had LA20 black interior, which is 5.2% of all of the US 49 production. So that's like a 6 out of 10 for rarity. So not the most common, but you're gonna see quite a few of them come up for sale. For 2016, 177 out of the 1,418 cars were ultrasonic blue mica, and only 74 had LA20 black interior. And I memorized the red because I have a blue on red. There's 36 that have red interior. So this car is one of 74 at its rarest. Still not a ton of them out there, but you know, not one of 8, one of 3, whatever. Carfax, Epic VIN, and AutoCheck. So Carfax shows us as a 3-owner, 3 or 4 accident car, and I'll get into that here in a second. Rebuilt title. First accident was in 2017, moderate damage to the right front. January of 2018, there was damage to the front and to the undercarriage. So that could be the cradle for the engine or exhaust or something, you know, wiring, something underneath. The third one was July of 2023, moderate damage to the front, right rear, and undercarriage. And when you look this up on the insurance database, it says the cause was an animal. So I don't know if they hit something and then ran off the road, but it was enough to total the car. But it was enough to total the car with only 20,000 miles on it at the time. Epic VIN shows this as a 4-owner, 1 accident car, and it's just the one in 2023. AutoCheck shows this as a 3-owner, 2 accident car, so it doesn't show the 2017 damage. It shows the one in 2018 and the one in 2023, and it notes it as severe damage. So AutoCheck also shows it as a rebuilt title. The 2018 accident, they showed damage to the left and the right side, the front bumper, the wheels. There was quite a bit of damage to that as well. The 2023 showed it as a total loss caused by an animal. There was a rebuilt title that was issued in March of 2024, and it had about 20 or 21,000 miles at the time, and so it's had like 5,000 miles added to it since it's been repaired and back on the road. And that's what you like to see when you're looking at a rebuilt title car. When it has like 50 miles or 100 miles since it's rebuilt, you are going to be the one that has to work out more of the gremlins and problems on it. And so we'll see if this one, I'm kind of foreshadowing, but we'll see if this one has any issues after the repair. Hint, it does. Previous sales. This car was first owned by Lexus, brand new, and it appears to me that it was a press car. So it has the option D7 checked on the window sticker, which is direct delivery straight to Toyota. It was delivered to TMS, which is the marketing arm of Toyota, and it was also registered through their leasing company in Kansas City, Missouri. So this car probably had Missouri plates on it, and it was a press car. So it's something that was loaned out to the press to drive or look at. Could have been an auto show car, but the way I've seen it with other press cars, this was probably a press car. They owned it from February 2016 to July of 2016, which is also about how long they own them. And if they don't own them for a short period, they own them for like 2 years and 20,000 miles. So this one, they had it for about 1,200 miles or so. And then when they sold it, they disclosed it as a manufacturer vehicle. So, you know, everything kind of jives. It was a Lexus-owned car, most likely a press car. But then it went on to be sold in Texas and then on to California in 2017. And the second owner must have driven by feel, because that's where all these accidents happened. And I mean, basically the car has been damaged in pretty much every panel except the roof, but maybe even the roof has been repainted too. But yeah, the whole car has basically been repainted at one point or another between the 3 accidents. Usually on salvage title cars, you can Google the VIN and you can find the pictures pretty easily on what it looked like at the time of the loss when it was for sale at the insurance auction. I don't see that here. The owner does provide 2 photos which looks like a flat tire and a bumper tab missing, which I think there's more to it than that, based on what AutoCheck and Carfax have described. But he was issued a rebuilt title in March of 2024, so about 2 years ago. So this car, 2 years, 5,000 miles since all of that has happened. So it's what you like to see, but we'll get into the service history in a little bit and you'll see kind of there are some ongoing issues. So now into the photos. The first big thing that I noticed is there's moisture in the passenger side headlight. What does that tell me? The daytime running light, if it still works, it's probably not going to work very long because the moisture gathers and it will fall down into the daytime running light assembly. It will fry the board, and then it will eventually get to the actual headlight, computer, everything that sits down there as well. So pretty much plan on replacing the headlight. Headlight's $3,700, very expensive. If you can find a used one off of a GS 350 2016 and newer that had the triple beams option, sometimes on eBay you can pick them up for like 1,500 bucks, something like that. That's about as cheap as you're gonna find them, but this car basically needs a new headlight. So add that to the list of things you have to replace. For this car, having pretty much the entire car repainted and panels replaced and things like that, it really doesn't look too bad for panel alignment. The color's off a little bit between the bumper and the front fenders, but again, not a big concern there. The only photo I can see of the rear, it looks like it might have an aftermarket exhaust too. That doesn't look like a stock exhaust. The interior is delaminating on all 5 of the carbon fiber panels that commonly delaminate. May even be delaminating on the rear, but all 5 of them on the front. Left and right front dash, left and right front doors, and the center console. You can see it clear as day, and it's peeling very badly. Somebody's pulled it off as it's delaminated. Everything else, it looks pretty decent on the inside. Does it look like a 26,000 mile car? No. The driver's seat's got a pretty significant amount of wear for a 26,000 mile car, but this car probably had a lot of short trips or something like that, being a Southern California car. But yeah, it does not look like it has 26,000 miles. It looks like it's got more than that. So as far as the price goes, he's asking $36,500 for it. He was originally asking more than that. The rebuilt title cars, mileage is almost irrelevant. 28 to 32,000. That's sort of where the market has accepted a rebuilt title GSF. And even with this car with 36,000 miles, you're gonna have to replace a $3,000 or $4,000 headlight. So it brings it back down, $33,000, $32,000 anyway. The asking price, it's not out of the realm, but based on the other stuff that this car needs, as I will get to in the service history, that this car probably should be somewhere around 30, even 32,000, but not $36,500. So now into the service history. So again, remember, this car was originally owned by Lexus. So the first entry of note in May of 2016, the SD card was jammed, and they noted that Lexus is taking the vehicle back, so they couldn't fix it there. January of 2017, 1,300 miles, the hood release lever was replaced. So, not very common to see that. February of 2017, again with the SD card, they noted that the slot was broken and the radio needs replacement. Still wasn't replaced there. May of 2017, again with the SD slot damage, and it says they repaired the drive and they noted some other broken parts there as well, but it doesn't say what all was done other than it was repaired. So hopefully, if you're looking at this car, just check to make sure the navigation works. That would be the thing. So if the navigation doesn't work, then that SD card slot, the SD card slot, for those of you not familiar, where the Mark Levinson logo is on the radio unit, you just lift up from the bottom and it's a little door and the SD card is right underneath there. August of 2019, noted wind noise, and they said it was due to door alignment from bodywork. So this would have been after the second accident, and they also did the JLB recall there. And then there's a 4-year gap in service history. So from 2019 to 2023. So then there's a 4-year gap, and then this accident happens, July of 2023. So in July of 2023, 19,500 miles, AW Collision brings the car in, and they get the parking sensors and the blind spot monitoring system recalibrated. A month later, in August of 2023, again from AW Collision, the parking sensor recalibration and blind spot monitoring. So a month apart, they had the same thing. Maybe something got taken off or adjusted. January of 2024, 19,800 miles. There were more stored codes for parking sensors. So common issue here, having lots of issues with the parking sensors. Window issues as well, so it's not rolling up or down like it should. B2313 was the code that was noted as stored. August of 2024, 21,000 miles, just an oil change. And the last service in March of 2025, they dropped off again from AW Collision, so they're still having problems with this. Check engine light was on, cylinder 2 misfire. They noted rodent damage, and the rodents were in the valley plate, or right underneath the intake manifold. Pretty common to see if you have rodent damage. Hopefully that was resolved. It doesn't say if it was or not. What's not done, the low pressure fuel pump on this car has not been reprogrammed, so that's the humming or buzzing you hear in the back seat. There is a fix for that. The HVAC servo sweep, none of that's been done on this car. Carbon fiber trim, as he said, all of it's original, all of it's delaminating. Front lower control arm bushings probably have not been replaced. Inspect the insides of the front tires. There is one photo where you can kind of see it. It looks like it's okay, so those may be all right now. Brakes and tires, the valley plate. Now, the valley plate, this car with only 26,000 miles, but it's probably had a lot of short trips. Heat cycles and time, not necessarily mileage. Would not be surprised if this valley plate was leaking, so do a pre-purchase inspection if you're looking at this car. The ZLZ, that's the deformed, sticky, delaminating dash. The in-service date on this car was March 11th of 2016. This is the end of March 2026, so it is already out of the coverage. And if it's a salvage title, rebuilt title, Lexus won't cover it anyway, so you wouldn't get it covered even if it was still under that. So that brings me to, would I buy this car? This car, you'd have to go into it looking at it like value be damned, because the whole car has been repainted. It needs a headlight replaced. It probably needs to be brought up on maintenance. All the carbon fiber trim's delaminating. The interior's got some wear on it. There's some things that you just go drive it and go put 200,000-300,000 miles on this car instead of trying to keep it low mile, because it's, at the end of the day, it's already a rebuilt title car. For even numbers sake, let's say it needs brakes and tires. So $1,500 for tires. If you have the dealer or a mechanic or somebody replace the brakes, another $2,000. So that's $3,500. Needs a new headlight. That's $4,000. So, now you're at $6,500. Carbon fiber trim, $500 if you send it off to SMA fabrication, or $12,000 if you replace it, which you're probably not going to do that. The other service, what if it needs a valley plate? So there's another $2,000 or $3,000. There's a lot of potential gotchas on this car, and somewhere around $30,000 is where I would have to be for this to make sense to me. I can do the brakes myself, I can do the fluids, things myself, but there's people out there that don't or can't or don't want to do that. So you have to know that going in, that the initial purchase price on this car is not all you're going to spend on it. But the big one to me would probably be the headlight. If it doesn't work already, it will quit working here pretty soon. If you catch it while they're still working, you can have it sent off and repaired, but it's probably easier at this point to just replace it. And you also have to remember, the whole car has been repainted or repaired at one point, and it's still got some other issues going on with the parking sensors, the check engine light for the misfire, if it was repaired or replaced, the engine harness, there's some other, or the injector harness. There are some other things that need attention on this car. So don't let the 26,000 miles fool you. This car has some other money you have to put into it. Is it a bad car? Not necessarily, but you just have to go into it with the right mindset on this car. This is not going to be one that's collectible or anything like that. It is going to be a driver. So that's what, and not only will it be a driver, but it's something that once you buy it, you're going to keep it for a long time. So you have to be committed to it on top of that. So that's what I've got for you guys. VIN 1149. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.